Janet Granger back with another Wildlife Wins podcast, talking about organizations that are doing great things for animals and the environment. So I'm very excited today to have Melissa Alexander, and her title is VP of Sea Turtle Oversight Protection. And wow, having lived in Florida for 9 years, I am well aware of all the work that needs to be done to help and protect sea turtles. So I'm very excited to have you here today. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, it's such an honor. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Sure. So tell us about your organization and what you're doing to help protect sea turtles.
Yes, thank you. Sea Turtle Oversight Protection was founded in 2007 by the White Cloud family. They have lineage with the Native American tribes, and they witnessed a disorientation event. Hatchlings that had just emerged from the nest were crawling into the roadways and getting killed. And for them, the turtle holds a great sacredness in the Native American traditions, and they felt like it was an abomination and an injustice, and were motivated at that moment to change the course of their lives, to figure out, why is this happening? What can we do to stop it? So that was in 2007. And so they started researching and mentoring under scientists and people doing research here on the East Coast. And we're Fort Lauderdale based, and started learning more and more about these animals and how to mitigate their mortality. Here in South Florida, the human impacts are quite significant against sea turtles. There's so much coastal development, and the nesting season is from March to October, so that's almost half the year. And so tourists on the beach that don't understand how to be low impact, and also locals that also have no idea how to be more mindful of their behavior and their actions on the beach that can affect the animals. There's been a tremendous amount of pressure with coastal development, bigger buildings, taller buildings, and all of that brings more light pollution along the coast. And so, human disruption on the habitat, so the sea turtles can lay peacefully, is a problem. And then when the babies emerge, they're attracted to the artificial light from the buildings, restaurants, condos, all of that infrastructure. And so instead of crawling into the ocean, they go in the opposite direction of the ocean. And sometimes if there's no barrier to the roadway, they'll end up squashed. Or even worse is they'll just wander aimlessly through dune vegetation all around and just never find the sea. So we are here to mitigate that. Our staff, which are trained but unpaid staff, monitor the beaches from sunset to sunrise all summer long. And we monitor the nests that have a high degree of probability for hatching, so that we can be there or be there shortly after the emergence and collect the hatchlings that have gone the wrong way. We put them into our buckets and we get them into the water. And then we also report that infraction, that injustice, through the authorities. And we have a permit to do this work through the Florida Wildlife Conservation Commission and part of their marine turtle permit activities. So we report all of this data to the state, which is also shared with stakeholders here in the municipalities and in the counties, so that we can minimize the lights that are causing them to go the wrong way.
And having lived in Fort Lauderdale, I became very aware of this, actually. I went to see some of the hatchlings being put back into the water. I learned how the moon reflecting on the water used to be the only light, and that's why the lights on the beach are totally messing them up, because they're literally in the wrong direction. And I will say, having lived in Fort Lauderdale for a few years, I got very educated, and it was very exciting when the hatchlings were put back in the water to watch them all take off. It was really something to behold. So thank you
Mm,
for all the work you've done and you are doing.
yeah.
And what I'd love for you to share is some of the successes or a success story, just so people can understand the impact that your organization is having on helping to deal with this issue.
Mm. Yeah, there's several different things that we do and that we've seen over the years how we've positively impacted the survival of these animals in addition to helping future generations of turtles that are born out here in Fort Lauderdale. And in addition to educating the community through festivals and different kinds of activities, corporate sponsorships, and they ask us to come and do presentations, which we love to do. And we've seen over time there's greater awareness and also a little bit more responsibility that the people feel like, oh, what I'm doing out there really does matter. Oh, let me now be more mindful, right? And as we monitor the beaches throughout the night, we're walking and meeting people, whether they're tourists from anywhere around the world, to even locals. And what are you doing? Or what's this about? Or why is this happening? People are very curious. They don't understand maybe how some of their behavior might be causing a problem, such as, big one now is the cell phone flashlights, walking up and down the beach with that kind of thing, or seeing a hatchling or seeing a mother laying her nest. Oh, the first thing everyone wants to do is pull out their cell phone and start filming. And any light shining on her, any close approach is going to scare her. So we have, over the years been very instrumental in educating the public while we're out there. In addition, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, when we witness a disorientation event, we literally count the number of hatchlings that go to the water by themselves. And then we also count and recover all the turtles that go the wrong way. And then because we witnessed the event, we're able to say it was that restaurant or it was that hotel or the exterior lights of that particular HOA. And then we're able to follow up with code enforcement in the city and also with the county sea turtle program to try to get those lights fixed. And over the 17 years that we've been operating out here, we have seen a significant difference. For those of you that might not be aware, we're not asking for the lights to be turned off. Research has shown that sea turtles do not necessarily see or they're not attracted to the long wavelengths of light, which are orange and amber to our eyes, is what that long wavelength of light looks like. So sea turtle friendly light is those colors. And if you install your lights that are in those wavelengths or those colors, you also shield the light or direct the light downward. Those actions can significantly improve the nesting activity on the beach and can also definitely improve the hatchling survival rate. And so we've seen along the coast where we've been monitoring and reporting and being like that little nagging, nagging little organization to get change enacted, in the communities, or when there's a new hotel going up or a change of ownership and they change all the light bulbs, we're back there going, hey, these are out of compliance. You need to get on this. And then the thing that I'm most proud to say about our organization is that since 2007, we've saved the lives of over 280,000 hatchlings and
Wow.
counting. Yeah, I think we're going
Wow.
to hit the 290 mark this season once we tally all the numbers. So that's,
Wow.
in a survival rate of 1 in 1,000 under natural circumstances, those animals are going to come back here to Florida to reproduce, in the next decade or so.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a
we're
lot
so
of
proud.
hatchlings. Yeah, yeah. And I've seen the nests, I've seen the tape around the nests, and I will say, being with people who've been in Fort Lauderdale for years, they seem on the beach, they seem very respectful, don't want to get in the way. Those of
Mhm.
us who lived in Lauderdale for a few years, I think it was interesting to see, especially in the business community, became somewhat protective. And yeah, I did learn about the amber lights. So thank you for sharing about that. So
Yeah,
wow, that's amazing, amazing
thank
success.
you. We're so proud. We do a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of coffee, but everyone in our organization, are not paid. They're just passionate about making a difference. They are very motivated by being on the front lines of conservation, and to be, our staff are from, high school kids to retirees, physicians and lawyers and accountants and, teachers and students, from all walks of life, all ethnicities, and everyone's coming together to say, I want to make a difference and I'm willing to give up my summer nights, lots of sleepless nights, to be out there. And they become so empowered by saving the life of that one individual, even if it's just one that night. But our staff, each of them, if you add that all up, I mean, over the course of time, a particular staff member can save hundreds, if not thousands, of turtles in a single season. So it's a very they develop a very strong connection with the earth, being out there and being amongst the elements when it's so much quieter and you can actually feel nature without so much disruption, and feel her energy, and understand your role in all of that and our responsibility, by being here and sharing this space with them.
Well, and you definitely get the sense being out there with the moon and the ocean and the tides and hearing the waves come in and go out. It really, as you said, is lovely to be out there, and it is amazing to see those little hatchlings come out. So thank you for all we do. So share with people, now that they know who you are and what you do, how they can learn more about your organization.
Thank you so much. We are on Facebook and Instagram. The handle is Sea Turtle OP, and there you can find different activities and festivals and events we might be participating in. We're going into our fundraising season as we get into the Thanksgiving and the holidays. And we also have a great website. It's www.seaturtleop.org. And that website has lots of information on sea turtles, the species, all these little nuances about the lighting and how people can really make a difference whether they're visiting or living here. And then we also have a great online shop. So we also have a physical store that I'm in right now in Fort Lauderdale. And what we really are proud of is what we showcase and we offer at this store is all things that are earth friendly and sea turtle friendly. And 100% of the proceeds goes to funding our rescue operations. So they can shop for the holidays and
do good at the same
turtle.
time.
Yeah.
Do well and do good. All right. Well, thank you so much, Melissa. I so appreciate everything that you and all of your staff and volunteers are doing on behalf of the sea turtles and the ocean life that they represent in many ways. So
thank you, Janet, for your
time.
Thank you
for being here.
Helping us get the word out.
Absolutely.